you can not be too vocal or at various times. And I know most of you are hoping for a positive outcome over one thing in particular. So we have apologies. I'm going to accept the apologies from Member Honig and Member Taipari, but we have two replacements in Member Hanari and coming as Member Kake, still to arrive. So could someone please move the... So if you say Councillor Collins, seconded by Councillor Hills, all those in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Declarations of interest. We have declarations of interest. Councillor Cooper?
It's not an item number, but it's recommendation C.
Okay.
But when you're discussing that, if you'll just alert me, Mr. Chair, and I'll...
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My conflict is on the same item. I'm actually a commercial director of a board that is in charge of a hotel, so I'm directly conflicted, so I won't be participating.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
so
do you need me to put my reasons as well?
Yes, you can, yes.
Okay, so I am the president of a trust that owns a hotel. So I'm not, it's a direct non-financial conflict.
So just for those two councillors, what we'll do, we'll probably, when we get to have a discussion on that part, then obviously leave and then come back, because I'll keep it tight that people cannot comment about anything outside that, and then come back, and then when we get to the vote on the recommendations, again, you can sit back. Are there any other further conflicts of interest? And I'll just remember, folks, search your background. It could be, you know, you don't want anything to catch you up later, and we have had this happen in the past where conflicts weren't declared, and a previous mayor did get himself in trouble for not declaring conflict. So, Bill, you have a conflict, eh?
No, I don't have a conflict, Mr. Chairman, but I don't enjoy doing this, but at yesterday's workshop, councillors, which was held in confidence, and during a legally privileged briefing, one of our members admitted to being in communications during that workshop with a lobbyist. This brings forward a conflict of interest test. The Office of the Auditor General notes that in the interests of openness and fairness and to minimise the risk of a public entity having to defend itself against an allegation of impropriety, and that's a quote, it is always safer to err on the side of caution. Perhaps a councillor who yesterday admitted that they were in communication might consider their actions in terms of a conflict of interest, either real or perceived, and recluse themselves from that part of the debate and vote today.
Well, there's nothing more than I can do other than that the statement's been made. So if a member, and the member knows who he is, wants to say anything or declare, it's up to entirely up to
Chairman.
himself. Councillor Quacks.
Thank you. Having received advice from our legal team and considering that, and unfortunately not having had the time to seek independent legal counsel on this, I've searched my conscience on this rather than seek legal advice. And having read through that legal advice, I'm quite clear that I have no conflict of interest, and I'm quite happy to and secure in the knowledge that there is no conflict of interest exists. There may have been an error of judgment on my part, but certainly having read through this memo that I was sent from our legal counsel this morning, I'm of the view that no conflict exists, and I'm happy to take part fully in the debate and in the voting. And I thank the legal team for their advice.
That's it. Thank you, Councillor Quacks. Right, well, we have the declarations being made by Councillors Hulse and Cooper regarding recommendation 12C. confirmation of the minutes, please, from two sets, 23rd and the 26th. Can we have a mover, that, please? Councillor Simpson, seconded by Councillor Casey. No, it won't be Councillor Casey. Myself, I will second those minutes. Councillor Casey was not in attendance. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Right. Petitions, there are no petitions. Public input, there is no public input, but indirectly, obviously, there is when we look at the fact that we've had public consultation with over 8,058 submissions this year, which was actually a record for us for an annual plan by a considerable margin. So we just note that. Local board input, again, there's a report where we have had the local board input both in paper and in meetings, so that is noted. There are no extraordinary items. There are no notices of motion that have been passed on to me. So then we have the annual budget overview, and we ask Kylie to come up with her team. Now, councillors, just remember we're on a 5-minute speaking rule. When you do speak, I'm not going to use the bell because that's rather childish, but I certainly will be saying at a minute, with a minute to go approximately, that's what you have to go. And then the other thing is I will try to balance a little bit of pro and against when it comes to resolution. Of course, I don't know where everyone stands on everything, but I've got a rough idea, and I will try and get the balanced debate rather than having a whole lot of people with one view and then a whole lot of people with the other. It just makes for more interesting debate, and then who knows, we all may learn from each other as well. Kylie.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I know that we've completed the item, and I apologise, on declarations of interest. I was just wondering if it was possible for the legal team to provide the advice that was given to Councillor Quacks to other councillors.
Oh, no, that legal advice was for Councillor Quacks.
Thank you.
Kylie.